and very happy and joyful to see all of you in this session again. And it's become literally a ritual for me to wait for, or in fact, I should say all of us waiting for the session, all four of us. So you already know me, but I'm going to introduce myself very quickly. My name is Vasumati Lopez. Devi is a co-founder. Say hello, Devi.
Hello.
Anjali.
Hi everyone, good to see you.
Yeah, and I already asked Bhairavi to say hello to you all. So we are four of us who started Hold a few months back, and the reason for starting Hold was to talk about hormonal change that we are not able to talk otherwise with anyone else. This is from my personal experience that I was telling our guest speaker today, that I was raised in an Orthodox family, and talking about it is itself is a taboo. So, and I really had a very difficult time of 10 years of pre-menopause and then menopause. So that is the reason I felt that probably there are people out there who are having same kind of questions or issues, and they would like to share. I didn't say trouble, because hormonal change, we cannot say it as a trouble, because it's part of our life. So we have to accept it and we have to deal with it. And for some, it is really an easy thing. And for some like me, it has been a difficult journey. So Hold has been bringing experts. For last month we brought experts for hair. Before that we had experts for wellness. Our Renuka's session was so well received, and before that we had Dr. Usha, Dr. Ruchi, and am I missing out anybody? If I'm missing out, please help me out, Devi and Anjali.
Fashion, Bhairavi and
yeah. So Bhairavi, yeah, we did, yes. Yeah. So all those sessions were some way, I'm hoping that it must have helped you. And please keep joining us. And one of the main thing about Hold is that we record the session and we also edit and put it in such a way that questions and answers are coming out easily for you to see. So if you Google the question, or you Google us, Hold Forum for Women, in any of the social media, you will be able to connect with us. So if you're not able to join or any of the sessions, if you're not been, you've not seen it or missed it, please do watch those videos. It will help you out in some way. So that's about Hold. So now the most exciting thing is about our guest. I'm so happy to introduce today's guest. Today's guest actually was introduced to me by one of my vegan activist friend. And for your information, I'm also a vegan because of him. And Dr. Madhavi Kathpal had been associated with him and his cause also, because she also follows vegan diet and she believes in that. So Dr. Madhavi Kathpal, if you can switch on your video. For dramatic effect, I told her to switch off the video. So thank you, doctor, and very warm welcome, and so happy to welcome you today for this session, and we are very privileged to have you. So a little bit about Dr. Madhavi, and then you know that I'm going to ask her at least one personal question, right? That is how it goes. So Dr. Madhavi Kathpal is a cosmetic dermatologist practicing for last 30 years. So she did her post-graduation in Mumbai, where I also hail from. And she believes in holistic approach. I already mentioned that to you. Approach of healing, hence following a vegan lifestyle. So my first question, Dr. Madhavi, to you is, what was the reason that you choose this career option?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And thank you, Hold, and thank you, Vasumati, especially for organizing this and inviting me. Yes, dermatology was meant to be my line. However, when I was studying medicine, I lost my father in 88, and I was hell bent on doing cardiology because I lost him to a heart attack. However, life always has other plans for us. And I was soon married before I knew it. And post marriage, I knew it was not easy to do a tough line like cardiology. And I was advised by one and all to take up a lighter line. And I chose dermatology. And I got my MD seat in JJ Hospital. But I know it was a tough 3 years. So I gave that seat up to do my DVD, which I could manage my life and career both. So as we all are here, around the 40, 50 age group, I would like to call ourselves as queenagers and not teenagers. But we all have, been there, done that, and you have to make some difficult choices at that time. But I really feel that going with the flow is a part of a bigger plan that was meant for us. And I realized that I wouldn't have been able to pamper my holistic tendencies had I done a very hardcore, stringent master's in dermatology. And now I am free to choose other options and lines, which is best for my patient. And I feel very grateful and satisfied with that.
That's so wonderful. Being holistic means that you are open and accepting the change that is happening around you and adopting to whatever medicines or whatever way of life that is happening. Because I know that veganism was not so popular at least 10 years ago, isn't it? It's a recent one, and for whatever reason it is, we know that the dairy products are affecting us. I know you're going to talk about it in detail, so I will hand over the mic to my co-host, Anjali, who is going to ask you a set of questions which is already put together by asking a few joiners who are regular to us. So after that, Devi will ask the audience question. And audience, please, you know that you are very welcome from now to put your questions on the chat, and Devi will pick it up and call out your name. If you wish to open your video and ask, you are welcome. If not, you just don't have to open it, and Devi will go ahead and ask him. So over to Anjali.
Thank you, Ms. Vasu. And I'm so delightful to have Dr. Madhavi today here. Thank you so much for joining, Doctor. Let's start with the questions immediately. Yeah, okay. So my first question is, why is our skin so affected during menopause? Since we are talking about menopause, the first question is related to menopause. That why is our skin affected during menopause, and what is the connection between the hormonal changes and the skin problems?
Skin, not only in menopause, right? From the time we are born, we are exposed to hormonal changes in our body. And so I would say in menopause, we all know that the ovaries produce our female hormones, the estrogen and progesterone, and that is getting depleted. Now, once that stock is reduced, the effect on the skin, the estrogen has the effect of stimulating sebaceous glands, our oil glands, our texture of the skin, the thickness of the skin, the moisturized look of the skin. Then all that is going to take a back seat. So the effects on the collagen, elastin under the skin is all monitored by estrogen and progesterone, and even the pigmentary levels. So if suddenly these hormones drop, we are going to find changes in that. Okay. Also, when we are nearing menopause, we tend to feel a little low because again of the hormonal changes or the empty nest syndrome. Our children would have grown up by then and left the homes. So with that kind of depressed, low feeling, I'm also not going to have my happy hormones in my blood. So those happy hormones are very important to give a glow to the skin also. The dopamine, serotonin are very important too. Mm-hmm. And of course, if we run, issues like thyroid disorders, they are hormones that again affect the skin. your diabetes, all these diseases by this age, our metabolism slows down. So we have other diseases, metabolic conditions coming up that affect our skin also. So that's the way it hits our skin.
Okay. So actually some of the part of the next question you've already answered, but in case you want to add some more issues to it, what are the skin issues that we experience during menopause? Do we have any specific issues?
So to understand that, if you roughly divide the skin into the upper part, which is visible to us, is the epidermis. The stronger part below that holds the epidermis is called the dermis, and the area below the dermis has got the fat, which we call a subcutaneous fat. So the epidermis has got the skin that is visible to us. So we see our veins, we see our wrinkles there, we see hair, we see shedding and scaling. These are the things we see naturally every day. So when hormonal changes hit the epidermis, what you could see is thinning of the skin. And because it is thinned down, it becomes transparent. So we can see the underlying vessels more. So, the hands can be very prone to, you can see the veins there, very gorged out, and more like canals running onto your hand. You will also see pigmentary changes, on the face and on the body. You may see a little red colored dots, which we call as spider angiomas, caused by estrogen breakdown, in the liver. And you see that as age increases, and there's nothing to worry. These are part and parcel of the epidermal changes. And the dermis is what has the holding up matrix. So the collagen, the elastin, the fibrin that is there dips down. The production is not happening because the hormones responsible for that are not there. The enzymes are not being, active. So you find the volume loss in the skin because the supporting structure is not there. So we find hollower cheeks, jowls, sagging skins, wrinkles, fine wrinkles, deep wrinkles, and a discoloration of the skin. So these are commonly that we see. And as we age, the glands getting affected, we have a lot of dryness that we see naturally.
Yes.
Yeah, more or less, this is what we cover.
Okay. So let's start with all these problems one by one, and we need to know what are the remedies for these issues. So let us start with the thinning of skin, or you would like to take two problems together. It's completely up to you, like the thinning of the skin and the pigmentation part. You want to take it together or say it separately, it's completely up to you.
All right. So when we talk about remedies, we would talk ideally about prevention and then treatment, because we would like to prevent these problems. So that would come under one group. But if I have to treat something like an epidermal thinning and dryness, which is a commonest thing, we would start with first your routine regime that you follow. So how do you wash your face? Are you using strong soaps? Are you using face washes? Are you using a scrub or a loofah? All these things matter. So rule number one, never let your skin go dry. So when we talk about dryness, I'm talking about the water content in the skin. So there are two glands that open directly onto the skin. One is the oil gland that is attached to every hair follicle. So these glands are called sebaceous glands. They release their oil into the same area through which the hair comes out onto our skin. And the other glands, which are the water glands that open straight onto the sweat glands that we call, they open straight onto the skin. So the water and the oil gives a perfect balance and glow to the skin. So when any of this gets imbalanced, then we find either a skin getting oily or a skin getting dry. So when I say my skin is oily and dry, it is not a misnomer. It is a real thing, because when I'm talking about oily, I'm talking about the oil level created by the oil gland, and the dryness is the water level created by the water gland. So I may have very oily skin, but a very dry skin. The water content may be low. So I may still get breakouts and acne, but my skin may feel very dry.
Okay.
So that's one thing that I need to take care of my oil and water balance by using a right cleanser. So ideally, I would recommend that the skin pH is around 5.5. So do not use any strong soaps like alkaline soaps that we have. Any ordinary soap in the market today has at least a pH of 8. So try and get cleansers like, I'm not supposed to say names, I don't want to advertise, but you all are friends, I can try that a little bit. A Cetaphil gentle cleanser is a very commonly, popularly known cleanser. Moise, Zindex. So there are different Sebameds. So these are the gentle cleansing bars that have a pH of 5.5. That would not remove the water from the skin that much. They won't dehydrate your skin that much. And hence we achieve what we want to achieve. So first is very important, cleansing. Second is protection. So we have all along walked in the sun and exposed ourselves to environment all the year around, and not really worried about our skin. But the radiations of the sunlight, the infrared, the visible lights, all are going to damage my skin. So even the cell phones, we are holding cell phones, the radiations crossing us all the time. All these are affecting us. Earlier, we thought only sunlight was damaging us, so we would not use a sunscreen if we were at home. But today, I recommend that even if you're wearing a burqa or you're indoors, absolutely cloudy day, you still wear your sunscreen.
Okay, really.
So a sunscreen ideally is used between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So when you use it at that time, the peak sunlight damage is not happening from the ultraviolet radiation. But if you're exposed to a lot of computer work, you've got a lot of radiation coming anyways, it is safer to use a sunscreen. So that is the usage. Now, how do I remove dermal pigmentation? I would definitely want to use topical creams and ointments. Very strictly, I'm against two molecules, hydroquinone and steroids. Do not use them under unless you are under a doctor and a trained dermatologist, because they know how to taper it off. These are two drugs that can cause serious side effects. So should not be sold over the counter, but they are. So avoid hydroquinone and steroid containing creams. So what are the easier depigmenting creams that you could use are ones that have kojic acid, niacinamide, grapeseed extract, alpha lipoic acid. So these are molecules that are very gentle. They help you in depigmenting, and vitamin C creams or serums. All this will help you lighten up your skin and depigment your skin safely. So that is how we remove the superficial pigmentation. If you have a deep dermal pigmentation, that requires invasive procedures and other kind of treatments. So if you talk about the epidermis dryness we've dealt with, every night a light moisturizer is a must, even if you have an oily skin, because like I said, oil is connected with the oil gland. It may still be lacking water. So even people with do need a moisturizer, but it should be a non-comedogenic, non-pore blocking moisturizer. So read the words on the moisturizer saying they are non-comedogenic. Okay, so a light moisturizer at night would help in maintaining that skin glow. And if there are dermal defects, like I have lost volume, then of course it is a process. Today we have lovely creams. Retinol is the master cream for that. Collagen peptides are there. There are a lot of serums available. Oral drugs are available to help you boost your collagen. So there are different companies. Since I'm from India, we know a lot of companies that have marketed even snake venom. Now, being a vegan, I wouldn't have spoken about it, but fortunately they have copied the formula and made it in a lab. And so that's like a topical Botox without injecting your Botox. So for the volume loss, we use Botox and fillers to remove your deep wrinkles and give volume to your face. So that's how we tackle our problems. Yeah.
Okay. So, but I